purpose, I guess.
Yeah, for books.
Yeah. Cool. So what did you work on this week?
So I worked on character rotations. I have 2 of those that I'm like in the process of scanning, and object drawings.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Are
know
you
if
scanning them right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna send them to you right now because I have to take photos on my phone because my scanner isn't big enough.
Cool.
It's an itty bitty scanner.
Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the bane of our existence as artists when their scanners are so small. Which
Yeah.
sucks because those wide format scanners are so expensive. Some of them you can get for cheap, but not many.
Ugh. Yeah, no, I totally understand. Like, I want one. And I'm like, I want to get one, and no,
Yeah.
I'm not rich enough for one. So
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, take your time. Just send them over when you can. Love
sweet.
to see that. It'd be great to work on scans. That'd be a significant improvement over me taking a screen grab of this.
Unfortunately, most of them are going to be on for my phone. So
Okay. Still better. Still better.
Yeah, clear as possible.
Yeah, webcam quality is worse than phone. Phones are actually pretty crazy good quality these days.
Yeah, especially like the new iPhones. They're super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Karen was talking about, look at me all organized, about learning about animals and hands today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to like start talking about animals and how to draw hands and stuff?
Oh boy, I wish I knew that. I have a great book which would have been nice to bring, but here I'll bring it up anyways.
It's okay if you don't have it right now. It's totally cool.
Well, I'll show you the book anyways. There's a couple of really great animal artists. I'm just gonna bring them up while you take pictures of that and send them to me.
Yeah, definitely.
No drama this week, eh?
No, I started class actually. I have
yeah.
class and then throughout the week, so
Yeah.
yeah. I have a really cool teacher.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't know if you heard of him. His name's Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams. What is? Has he worked on something that I would know? Maybe.
I don't know. He's a teacher at OSHA, and then a bunch of comics out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, wait. What's Patrick Williams? You said?
Yeah, I can send you his stuff if you want.
Looking it up right now. Let's see. There's Patrick Williams in the NHL. I guess it's a pretty common name, actually.
Yeah, especially being in Canada, right?
Yeah.
How's your week going?
It's amazing. Do you want to hear why?
Yes.
So I don't know if I actually talk about my projects too much, but I've been working on my own children's book for a while now. Have I told you about this?
I've actually kind of stalked you. I'm like, let's see some of his work. And
okay. Yeah. Thanks. So holy crap, I'm like finishing it tonight. Actually, I've been working on it since 9 a.m. this morning. This is the first break that I've taken, basically. I'm going back for another 2 hours at the studio after this, and then that's it. I'm done.
You don't have to be here. No. Don't let me disturb you.
Oh, no. This is a great break. Are you kidding? I've been like just staring at it for hours. I need a refreshing eye.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, but yeah, so it's been like the final climax of this thing, and holy crap, it feels good because I'm starting a comic soon.
It's the final countdown.
It is, yeah. Feels amazing.
I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Let's see. I've got like a whole bunch of shit to show you.
What was the other part? You said animals and hand drawings?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, I can do that. Honestly, I can't do either of those. It's just I have a book that would have been great to show you, but I can still show you it with the good old internet.
Thank the Lord for the internet. I'll be right back, okay?
Sure.
I don't know if this helps, but I have a book by Ken Holgerton.
Oh my God, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I brought up actually, but there's a couple of other ones. That one's great, especially for animal movement. That guy's insanely good at drawing animal movement. I don't know how, is it so difficult, but yeah, he's fantastic.
I mean, for him, it's no big deal, but for us, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, animal drawing, I may add, is well, it was at least my worst part of my portfolio. So, I mean, it's difficult, and plus, I did it badly. Like I Planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where my animal drawings came from. Well, I mean, I watched the DVD and then I paused it and then I drew them, and that's a bad idea. They can tell, like they can tell when you've drawn from a photo or video versus like from life, which sucks. I don't know if you have any zoos near you, or you can just draw your pets. But yeah, it's good to be able to draw from life. Do you have anything near you?
I do. The Santa Ana Zoo or the LA Zoo, or I can try San Diego.
Yeah. Holy, you probably have a lot actually. Oh, that's great.
I don't go to zoos often, so.
Yeah. Shoot, that's actually great. Even because that way you can do them all in one day for sure. That's what I think we need to work towards, is just like having just like an intense day of work, and then maybe nothing, and you focus on your schoolwork for the rest of the week or something. Because I think that'd be more productive. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. The only thing is that I'm having school start, and I'm kind of like juggling which classes to take and which not to take because of KCAI at the moment. But we'll see where that goes. But I'm definitely down for like intense studio session. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, now's the time. I mean, you have, I guess, well, a month. So there's probably a few things, but of course there's going to be a crunch time. Well, you're sort of starting it, I guess. Probably in about 2 weeks, I would say, is officially crunch time. A month is usually what people spend on to finish their portfolio, but I mean, the more the better, obviously.
Yeah. Like I'm sending you the first drafts of like most of my stuff, and then I'm just gonna go back over it and finish.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. So a couple things about drawing animals. So I'm just going to screen share, actually. That'll be easiest. Let's see if this works. There we go. So you can see this? Oh, shoot.
1 second. Yes.
Okay. So Joe Weatherly is sort of one of the standard guys for drawing animals, especially for animation, because he blocks them out into like pieces, sort of. I'll see if there's any. This is so weird. I don't know why it's unavailable in Canada. It's probably super cheap for you. Don't worry. This is what my book looks like: The Weatherly Guide to Drawing Animals. And so this kind of gesture. Can you see my cursor by any chance?
I did. Where is it?
I'm making a circle right now.
Oh yeah, very small circle.
Yeah, on this gazelle type thing or whatever. That kind of gesture is great. It's just like very blocky. In fact, I might try to. Can I copy this? Shoot, I can't copy this. Well, I'm just going to steal it anyways. This laptop's a little bit slow, but it'll be fine.
It's all good. Are you at your parents still?
I'm not actually. I'm at my girlfriend's right now. I left my laptop charger here, so that is where I had to be.
It happens.
So you notice in this gesture and in this one, this is sort of more what you're leaning towards, is like this level of completion. But this is a great way to start. And there's way more of these in this book. But see how they've made the, I'm just going to copy and paste this so I can actually draw on one of them. Yeah, this guy's great. This was like our animal textbook, basically. All right. All right. So basically, what you want to make sure that you have is, I mean, this doesn't apply to all animals. Monkeys will be a little bit different, but wow, slow computes. You're still there? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm still here.
There we go. So the pelvis is like a box, basically. It's like this. This is like exactly what they want to see. Kind of like how the life drawing, a lot of the beginning life drawing is sort of box-like. It's all boxed out. That's exactly the kind of thing that they want to see. Just like very like shape-based masses. They don't want you to get into like the nitty-gritty details. You can like do the shape of the rib cage, obviously, and like draw the rib cage as its own piece. But then like same with the front legs. So how it works with an animal is like their pelvis is sort of tilted up like that as their legs kind of go like this, depending on what kind of animal it is. But that's sort of what you're looking at. So they want to see that you understand how the animal actually moves, especially in animation, obviously, because you're moving animals all the time. Oh, wow, this is very slow. Just trying to move a little line drawing.
Several hundred years later.
Yeah, it's loading right now. To move a line drawing, that is pathetic.
Progress!
Oh, why? It's because I'm on Power Saver, that's why. This is better. Oh yeah, so much better. Oh my god, okay. So yeah, like if you can draw the legs like that in the front legs, so how it works is the shoulder blades of the animal are actually pretty much on its back and they're facing down. So that's why in this case they drew this like this bar back here and then like this kind of shape. It's like kind of like a diamond. This is very representative of what the forms are doing, the skeletal structure of this quadruped. And it's good, by the way, if you can have a variety of both quadrupeds and like well, I don't know, like you could do anything really, like a bird or just some kind of variety. Quadrupeds are the hardest, so it's good to do at least one of those, I would say. But see, in this case, the scapula is like back here, comes down, and they've just like jointed it out. They even made like a little disc at this point. And then another joint, and then the feet aren't, like, there's no real detail in this. It's just, it's very shapey, very shape-based. And that's sort of what you want to go for. Because you just need to communicate that you understand how it would move, because there is lots of animal animation homework. Like one of them is like I had to make a bear walk cycle, which is really fun actually. I love doing that because you have to like it seems like easy. It's like, oh yeah, I know how a bear moves, but if you have to move every single piece of it and like rotate the scapula in a way that makes sense, and like how do each leg sort of moves independently, but there's a rhythm to it, so it's tough. It's totally difficult to actually really get the hang of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is sort of the shape of the animal, and then there's like the rib cage, and then usually the back is thinner, but this leg is much more muscular, so it's like they just want to see like an analysis. It's more of an analysis rather than like a nice animal drawing. Like over here, well, actually, this guy's so good that even his drawing is very analytical. Like he's got lots of little marks to show like different muscles and joints. Like see that bulge right there? That's a clear muscle. Mm-hmm. And then like even the way that he's wrapping these lines around the form like this is just great. Like he really knows his stuff. But I mean, this is amazing. So you're not going to get something that good. But yeah, like just this kind of analysis. See this horse? That's really nice because it is very like he drew exactly what I saw, but then he measured. He has these guiding lines to make sure that he got it right, but not too many lines. Don't make it too line heavy. Don't make any lines or any of your drawings too line heavy, like your figure drawing too. should be relatively minimal. You don't want to feel like you're not confident in your drawing, and if you make too many lines, it can often feel like that. This is also a great analysis of the eye. See this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like this bulge, and then he's drawn this U, which is really important here, this upside down U, and then the eye sort of fits in that, and then there's still the what, eye flap. What is that thing called?
Yeah, I don't know.
Eyelid. That's it.
I'm like, what do you mean, like bags or?
Yeah, basically the eyelid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just drawn enough lines so that you can sort of get the feel for what's happening in this horse head, without laboring too much as to what each thing actually is doing. It's like it's very unscientific. It's just like he sort of sees it and then he's like, okay, well this is probably a muscle up here, and the ear looks like this, so I'll draw it like that. So it's like it's pretty analytical, but it's still very artistic. It still looks really nice. So yeah, this is if you can get something like this, that would be fantastic. They would love that. I'm pretty sure you're still not allowed to shade, so that's still current, I guess. So don't do any shading. Just pure line drawing, like especially this one, how it's just like, oh, there's a circle here, circle for the nose, and then just connect them. And then there's one eye on this side, one ear. Ears are obviously always in perspective, so if you can get them well, that's a very good thing. And then like, see, that's pretty much enough, to get the head. It's just very, very minimal, but really effective drawing. So that's what I recommend for the animals. If you could pick up this book, I mean, that's great. It's a great example of a book to get for animal drawing.
Mm-hmm.
But yours is also really good. So like, look at those. Try drawing some of them. I would definitely recommend try drawing some from the book, and sort of get into try to understand how that artist was thinking through the process, and then that by the time you actually go to the zoo, you'll be super prepared because you'll have done some preliminary drawing from another artist that is very effective at it. So same with this. This is the same guy, but it's his DVD. Okay. This is probably be even more effective, honestly. Video is faster to learn with than a book, obviously, just because you get to see his process as he does it. Yeah. In a book, you sort of have to see like step 1, step 2, step 3, and it's, well, have you seen this internet meme actually? One second.
Oh boy, now we're having memes.
This is a great one. It's so typical of any drawing instruction book.
Oh God.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
This is like so perfect. I find so many drawing instruction books are like this. It's just like, it's just ridiculous, but it's a great representation of what it is often like. Whereas like a DVD, you'll see every step of the way. So that's, I don't know. To be honest, now, like where I'm at, I would prefer DVD than the book, just because it's faster and you don't have a ton of time. So like maybe this would be better. I think having some kind of DVD, or maybe there's even video footage on YouTube or something of animal gesture drawing. So I would look that up and just see how they're interpreting it. Yeah. Do you have any questions, by the way?
No, it's pretty straightforward, really.
Awesome. This is another one. It's quite famous and it's often incredibly cheap, which is nice. However, I don't really like the drawings as much, to be honest, but he has a lot of diversity and he really goes into how to break it down. See, this is exactly what I was drawing before, just like how to do a very quick gesture. These are really nice gestures. They're a little bit thick of line. I would probably thin those lines up a little bit, but otherwise they really capture the essence, and that's really what you're after. You're not after like the literal, like this gorilla or gorilla, grizzly bear. He didn't really, he maybe knew some of the animal anatomy, but really he's just interpreting the shapes, and he does it quite effectively. It's a really quick read.
Yeah, it's good.
This is a little bit too analytical, I would say.
Yeah, you want to be able to read it quickly and just kind of understand what animal it is.
Yeah, totally. This is a nice book, actually. Even just the shading and the different joints, and I can see why this is recommended, honestly. Yeah, exactly, that kind of bone. See, it's funny because like that bone doesn't really represent the legs very much, but it's just because there's this big muscle mass up there. Mm-hmm. Like there's this big muscle mass around the top, so it seems like it's way more going on. Yeah, this is a good breakdown, actually. Super cheap book. Probably get it. This is Joe Weatherly's site. He has a lot of great animal drawing, but they're more like painting stuff. Where is the other? Oh, here it is. Yeah, this guy's like incredible, but this is more for like if you're really gonna get into animal drawings, this is probably your guy. But yeah, this is like really solid drawing. Gottfried Bams is I think he's German, and he has his figure drawing books. This is an animal drawing book, but he has figure drawing books as well. Are like very highly regarded. So that's another resource. But yeah, those are my top books, and I took away the one that you already have. That was I opened that tab too. So yeah, I would just draw some of the ones in the book right now, and then yeah, and then it'll be so much easier. Do you have any of your images sent, by the way?
I sent my object drawings. I'm scanning some of the character stuff right now.
Awesome. Well, I could get started. Oh, all the emails at once.
Yes. Surprise.
Wow, you have a whole bunch. Awesome.
Yes.
Which one would you like me to start with? Which one's the most developed in case we can't get to all of them?
The one with the hand or that one?
Okay, so this one
Mm-hmm.
or this one? Okay, I'll just get both of them. I can probably get both in time. Also, some of these, remember, you had a half an hour this week of my time, and you didn't send me any work, so I can always check it this coming week since you have a whole bunch of work now. So if there's any stuff I can't get to, I'll still do a draw over, but it'll just be after this session sometime.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
No problem. Hey, awesome. Okay, so can you tell me, do a little sort of brief of what's going on in this one?
So remember the story I'm doing with the like milkmaids and Medusa?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of keep continuity within my portfolio. So this is kind of like a vanity of one of the girls who'd be at this like prestige princess like school that
Yeah.
The milkmaid works at.
Cool.
And like, yeah. And so I'm like, okay, how can I make this like, and cool or whatever. So I'm just like, let's do a vanity. I have a vanity at home. I can use that as kind of like my reference. So I have like, perfume and hairbrushes, a jewelry box, and a little tray. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. First of all, I love that you're keeping with the story, like a continuous sort of story. That's definitely a great idea, as we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
I notice your lines are not quite vertical. This is like a vertical line right here. Does the box actually span out a little bit like that, or is that just a drawing error?
That's just a drawing error.
Okay.
This is all freehand.
Oh yeah. Okay. Don't worry about it then. All right. Yeah, this is a great idea. Do you have all the object shapes that you need here? I see you have you obviously have a box. These are box-ish. You need a sphere, a cone, and a cylinder, I think, as well.
Okay. The cone.
But yeah,
yeah.
it's good that you can just put those in. That's easy, to just add those. It's better. It's more important to build a scene, and I'm happy that you were sort of focusing on that first, for sure. That's the way to do it. That's cool. So What are these objects?
We have on the
This
far
one.
left a jewelry box. Oh, that or right. Which one? Where do you want to start?
Let's go with this one. I'm just curious what this one is. It looks interesting.
It's a tray with gloves on it.
With gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I noticed that you framed the gloves. Sorry, I'm just gonna make this a bit high resolutioner. High resolutioner. Yeah, that's a new term.
Until you're working.
There we go. So you put the gloves like right in the center. It's a tray, you said?
Mm-hmm.
A tray. Interesting. Like on top or built into the chest?
On top.
Okay.
Yeah. As you can tell, it's really thought out.
Yeah.
Really, you can totally tell what it is. Yeah, kind of like a breakfast tray that you bring into like your bed or whatever, but it's on top of a vanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, the gloves are framed so evenly that it makes me think that it's like attached to it. It might be nice to have a little bit overlap. So if there's like a line here, that's the tray. Just have the gloves gloves extending over it, over that line, and then like maybe it's folded a little bit because it's pretty even. Like it's a little too even, suspiciously even, I would say. So
Okay.
maybe like just have them folded up a little bit. Maybe one finger sort of crinkled down, and then one finger is sort of pointed up. You know, these gloves are once they're put down, they're pretty formless. You just sort of flop them. And you could have a bit of a bit of the inside there, just like little ways to make it a little bit more dynamic. And yeah, if you add overlap, what overlap really does is it adds depth. It adds depth to the whole scene. So then suddenly you have like this line interrupting that line, and it's much more dynamic that way versus if it's just sort of sat in the middle. And you could even do another glove, for example. You could do a glove over here, and then maybe it's sort of going back in perspective. Then the thumb goes over there or something.
Perspective.
Yeah. Because this is like a great opportunity to show off your perspective awesomeness.
Plus, I have Patrick Williams is also an old perspective teacher.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, just like some way to make it a little bit more dynamic, and then if I don't know, there seems to be a piece coming up here. Is that right?
Yeah, like it's flat and then it comes up, and then it has holes. So it's kind of like in a C shape.
Interesting. If people like ask your friends and just see if it like what they think it is, because if any object in your scene, even if it's cool, is confusing and people don't know exactly what it is, then like there's a good chance that your portfolio people that are looking at your stuff might be confused too. So just see if they can sort of figure out what it is. It's just part of the scene, obviously, but you want everything to read really clearly. You want everything, like nothing should be mistaken, you know?
Totes.
Yeah. So yeah, and so if there is pieces that stick up a little bit, again, have them overlap something. Oh, this is a little bit too close right there. See, that's a tangent. You don't want to have tangents. So if there's a line that sort of goes right into that, like what was happening, just move it up a little bit, like that. And then you've got this piece overlapping this glove, which adds even more depth. So you'd erase that. You'd obviously still show that drawing, but just in blue. When you do black, you just yeah, I think we've chatted about that. But like, yeah, so you have all of your construction drawings like that. But then when you do it in black, you only draw over the things that are going to be seen in the most immediately.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just like, I'm cleaning up, and I'm not going to draw that glove behind. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It would add like a bit of depth there. Let's see what else. These look like keys or a brush.
Brushes.
Yeah. So just if this is sort of, I made the gloves bigger, granted, but if this is a glove, then that's a pretty tiny brush. It's kind of like a little popsicle. So maybe like I've sort of enlarged your glove for you, but if this is to match it still, you need to make it a bit bigger. So maybe like something like that. Yeah, just something like that. It looks a little more fitting for like this size of hand.
Yeah.
And then same with the comb, obviously. And yeah, don't have everything straight. Have some things off kilter a little bit because that's a little bit more realistic. And maybe, yeah, again, this thing might be overlapping it. What is this thing, by the way? It looks like a little apple peel. Sorry?
Do not know. Usually in vanity sets, they have a hairbrush, a comb, and a mirror. I don't know what I was doing. I'm just like, I'm just gonna draw this banana.
That's funny. You could have a little pocket mirror. I was just gonna say it's just another opportunity to have some overlap. And then overlap here. See, I'm overlapping that mirror. It's all about overlap. Like overlap adds so much nice depth to scenes, and it's such an important thing. Even though it's not something you think of right away as being super important, but it really does add a lot. So just think of ways to like sort of put things in a realistic way. Like if everything is equally spaced out, it's like I don't know. Like I don't know if that. It seems like a very set up scene. You want it to seem like a very natural scene, not something that you're just doing for the sake of the portfolio. You know?
Okay, so you want more natural rather than like this is pristine and clean and
Yeah. Like what would a real what is this called again? Vanity set?
a vanity, yeah.
Yeah. So just like go with exactly what you'd actually, what would that look like if it was like regularly used or something like that. I think that would be more interesting than like one that feels a little bit like it's been posed.
Okay.
And plus that'll add to your story too.
True.
If you could even have, see what I'm doing here is I'm just putting some fabric because maybe there's fabric here. I don't know. Like it could be whatever. It could be like a handkerchief, and then adds a little bit of opportunity to add some nice folds in that area.
Mm-hmm.
What is this thing again?
A jewelry box?
Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is nice too because since there's fabric there, you have a chance to like have a bit of crease over there. Adds a little bit of interest to the scene.
Okay.
What would happen if you open this?
It's like a chest, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to see it open because then you really get a feel for like what it is. I'm guessing it's something like that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, like open it and like show all the bits and pieces to it. Maybe it's like super organized with all. This is like where it's like a tray like this or something, right? And there's all these different.
I don't know. I don't have one of these, so.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't know. I just assume it's like blush and all that stuff, and mirrors and little.
I mean, I keep all of my like makeup in my drawers, so.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like that you have like a mirror here. That's nice. You could even, you know, what would be fun is if you had a little sign saying something like Miss Prissy's mirror, or I don't know, some kind of name of your character.
A plaque, yeah.
That'd be cool. My drawing circles is really bad with this tablet, but
I'll forgive you.
yeah. It'd be nice, you know, it would be fun as if you actually showed something in this mirror. Maybe there's like a figure standing.
Ooh, okay.
Like, because it's reflecting this way. So that'd be a little opportunity for a bit of story, you know?
Definitely.
Any chance you can, just take it to add story into your scenes.
All right.
It'd also be funny if this was like sort of a mess. Like if there are also some stuff lying around, just like miscellaneous things, especially if there's like a corner like this one. See this one down here? It's so neat and tidy, and like corners are often filled with things in front of them. So like maybe get rid of this corner and put something right here. Big candy bar is what it looks like right now, but just like anything, just maybe put the cone or something down here. it's all about like how you lay things out. So yeah, just make it as interesting as possible. And if there's more edges down here, then yeah, like put some stuff. Not, you don't have to like cover up every corner, obviously. It's just make it, again, it's natural over anything else. It's just that naturally, like usually you don't see too many corners. I'm just like in life, like usually there's stuff obscuring them or stuff in the way. So like maybe the cylinder's over here. Maybe this is like some kind of shampoo bottle or something that, or fancy hair product, or I don't know.
A lot of hair product.
Yeah. You know, you could even like really, it's a cylinder, but you can always have like maybe it's a spray bottle.
Yeah, I can
So
definitely.
that
Like,
still fulfills the cylindrical shape.
I was thinking maybe we can put, or I'm going to put a umbrella stand next to it, because like this is kind of this place where princesses get ready for the day, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I know this is supposed to be like the before, so
Yeah.
yeah. And then we have
Um, is this like a table that she's at? Like, should we have the table in it?
the table.
Yeah, like, is this
Oh,
on top of a table? And I don't
like
know, maybe there's legs or something, or I don't know.
yeah. Here, let me show you my vanity so you can kind of understand like what I'm talking about. So
Sure.
this is my vanity. Oh fuck. Okay. So like this is where I get ready. This is where other girls get ready.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And here, I'll come show you. It's kind of a mess at the moment. I have like talcum powder and stuff. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got like everything ready, and I've got my jewelry on my cat.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff is going to be hard to do, but you could try. I mean, you could have some of that stuff in it if you want. But yeah, you do want to keep it pretty simple. Like, don't have too much stuff, but enough stuff to make it feel like it's actually lived in, as opposed to like, oh, this is a nice and tidy set of that's specific to this portfolio. You know, they want to feel something that's like real. You know, so set things up, and just draw them in a. But yeah, I like what you've got here. It's like it's nice, and it's also unique. I haven't seen this too much, so that's nice. It's a nice way to put objects.
Perfect. Sweet. No, that's great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, you wanted to put it on a table. Oh.
Oh, well, no, I just didn't know what, oh, I see. So this actually is a table. The vanity set is the table. Okay, I was confused. I thought it was like a little platform or something. This
No.
one clears that up.
Yeah. So now we all understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, I would definitely, it's straight on. I probably wouldn't do that for this exercise, just because, you know, you want to have it. It's always, you want to have like the beauty shot, I guess, which is usually 3/4 view roughly, or like something more dynamic than 1 point perspective. So yeah, I would just like change the table to be uh, like this kind of thing.
2 point.
Yeah, doesn't have to be that sort of looking down at it, but yeah, just like something like that.
Yeah.
So then you have the mirror back there. Yeah. Oh, cool. You do have a cone. That's right. What's this thing? Or oh, I guess it's a pyramid.
Yeah. I'm like, let's put a crystal pyramid. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah. Well, shoot, it's a shame they don't need a pyramid, but it'd be fun to have some plants. I like how you have like a plant here. Because again, like you want to show that also that you just love drawing. And so, you know, if there's some things to make it a little bit more interesting to look at that, you know, you could also use to show off more of your skills, then yeah, like just add a vase or something, or add some more things in the scene so that it's not. And plus, this is sort of a cylinder too. That works for that. So you have the cylinder. You could sort of, you know, you could just change this to a cone. It depends what. Although, isn't there those I don't know, they're like perfume bottles or something. They look something like this. There's like a little cord that goes back, and then I for some reason I feel like they're a cone.
Oh yeah, where they kind of just like at the very end, it's kind of like a puff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. You could even just like look some up, like look some up online, and then if you see a cool one, just like draw that into your scene. You don't necessarily need to own these. Yeah, cones are. I found that difficult for me. I just used like it was sort of a cop out. It was just like a funnel, which that's not the greatest. But
Well, at least you get it done, right?
yeah, yeah, totally. And again, this is about composition. This is really a compositional thing. That's why I said all the things early about like the overlap. So like, for example, this, I'm not just gonna evenly place things throughout the table. I'm gonna like be like, oh well, maybe I'll put this one in front of that one. That makes it a little bit more interesting. But that's not gonna line up with that edge perfectly. Obviously, I want to have it like that's good. Just something to make it like more interesting. And this adds depth and composition, composition, composition. That's what this exercise is all about. So maybe there's something behind this, and then there's something in front of this that goes over top. Like just anything to add some complexity to the scene is nice. But obviously, don't just keep throwing things in front of it. That's why I like the idea of something hanging off of it. Like just like a cloth, because then that adds a bit of difference to the mix. Doing something like that, I don't know, some kind of thing. But yeah, make it a story. Make it a story. Story is above all. That's the most important thing. So you sent me another email. Is there more drawings in here? Or?
I think. Yeah, that's like one of a different one.
Oh, awesome.
Several different poses.
Let's see. All right, Photoshop, this better work. Oh, great, it did. Sometimes that doesn't work. Copy from Gmail. Things feel a little bit small. They might be this size, but just like, if you're going to do an object scene, make these a little bigger, or just make these surfaces a little smaller so that if you have something like that, it's not just like way off in that corner. Like you want to have maybe a surface like this big. And then, yeah, have some of the bottom part of the table. And then maybe this is like your whole scene. So maybe I would just take this and like have it just zoomed in on one piece. Maybe the mirror's over here and behind. So, wow, that is so not straight. There you go. Then the mirror, you might see the other side of it. This is actually a nice composition. You had something like this where, so you still have this ledge of the vanity table, and then you still see the other side of it going off like that. And then this way you get to have like a figure actually like looking or doing something. This is a great opportunity. You can even have them like pointing at the mirror. Like, what the heck is that all about? And then you could have like a hand here. That'd be so interesting. As if there's like someone blaming although I guess this person would just be reflected. Anyways, what I'm trying to do is just add a story to this so that it's not just objects in the scene. It's also like a complex narrative of some kind. I think just the reflection is a great idea. That especially if it's your character in the reflection. That if you can make that your character, then even better. Maybe she's like preparing. Maybe she's putting on a dress or something less creepy. I don't know. Something like happening in the mirror that would make it interesting. And then like that's optional, right? You don't need to do that. But if you have all the objects drawn here and cone and whatever else, the box, or maybe the box is down here, then you also have something else going on, and that's just a cool composition. Also, be aware of your eye flow, so how things are moving around the scene. You don't want to have things like directly in the center, obviously. That's such a no-no, even though I see a lot of artists still doing that, but it's just sort of rare. Like in this case, for example, I would probably actually move this whole thing down a little bit. Yeah, just like this is a little bit easier to look at. So it's kind of like a nice mix of like this is kind of catching your eye, and then your eye sort of moving around, and then here. And then I would have this character, don't have them reacting this way. Have them reacting this way because it brings your eye back into the scene. You see what I mean? So like if she's, putting blush on her face, she's doing it from this side. because this sort of brings your attention back in. See, if you had her facing that way, your eye would be taken out of the scene. So this is coming back and then going back over here. Maybe there's like, it's so crazy. Composition is such an interesting thing. It gets so deep and subtle. Like you never think that artists are like thinking so much about things. But for example, what I just occurred to me is like, okay, so what we have to do from here basically is we've got the eye moving sort of in this circle right now, and it comes around here. Then if you make this character pose right, then you want the eye to shoot back in this direction and then sort of be trapped in this composition and keep circling around. But to do that, like how do you do that? Because there's nothing here. What you could do is have a little crack in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, just like something going on. Maybe there's like a scrape back there. Just something that like catches your eye and keeps going. It's so crazy. Like it really does get that subtle. Like they'll have like little nicks. Maybe there's like a shadow behind the mirror and it's doing something like this. Well, you can't add shadows, but something like this to make it like more contrasting in this area, which does something else to your eye. Maybe makes it go down this slope. It's just like all these things matter. All these things matter. It's so crazy, but that's like the fun of composition. So yeah, have fun with it. Like be very, very intentional with how you set up your scene. So make sure you're putting everything. You're not just throwing things down. You're putting things in a very particular location because you're trying to like make the eye move in a certain way or make a nice shot. And you don't even need to study composition too intensely. Your intuitive sense should pick up on what looks nice. You know, like you don't want things straight on because then that's a little bit boring to look at. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room for like different takes on it. So don't be too intimidated by like the vastness of the brainstorming exercise, but yeah, have fun with it. But I hope that's enough for now. Do you have any other drawings that you sent or?
No, I can finish scanning those and then we can do it like Wednesday.
Yeah, great. Okay, sounds good. And I'll give you, okay, then in that case, I'll just do an hour of touch-ups this week since you have some stuff ready to go. Since this past week you didn't have anything to send, we'll just loop it together in this next week.
Perfect.
Yeah. Let's see, what else can I tell you about objects? Oh, so you're probably going to run into some cases where there might be you know, like logos or something, or just like extraneous details. Like there's some like rivets on things. Maybe there's like writing. What I would recommend is that you don't get lost too much in the details. If there is any kind of text or writing, like you can obviously try to do it in the way that it says on the bottle, but like a lot of students get really lost in that and they like try and get it so right to sort of show off like, oh, look how nice I can fall. But what it often does is it takes your eye out of the image and focuses it on the text. So like text is totally a compositional element. Don't think of it as just like a sort of neutral thing. In composition, no single attribute in the drawing is neutral. Everything contributes to how the composition is. So if there's text, what it does is it makes people sort of look at it. Like it almost can become the center of interest, even though that's maybe not what you intend in the composition. So be very conscious. And on that note of the center of interest, make sure you pick one. Like there's always a center of interest whether you like it or not. So try to intentionally make one by like you know, like maybe you do have some text and this thing is the center of interest. If not, maybe like this thing, maybe there's like a candle. That would be a very easy way to have a center of interest. You know, like have a candle that's actually lit and there's a little bit of fire. And maybe there's someone here like that's sort of lit by the candle. You know, like that, well, any kind of faces in composition will always become the center of interest. So that'll be an easy one. But you can always have like secondary center of interest, which could be maybe that, tertiary. There's all kinds of things in composition, but just be aware of those things. Like you need to control as much as you can about your drawing. So don't just sort of throw things together, you know?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see if I can draw anything else on top of this. You have a drawer here. Interesting. See, what I would do is if you did want to have that, you could have it pulled out. You know, like if you pulled it out a little bit.
Yeah.
obviously not from this view, but if, like, for example, if we took that and made it into this view, that would make the composition a little bit more interesting. If you had a drawer that was like a little bit pulled out like this, that'd be kind of nice. And then maybe there's something sticking up, like a bunch of nail polish or something.
Yeah.
Something like that might be nice. And then drawers here. I don't know why, but in art, mess is always more interesting than neatness. It's way more interesting to draw mess. So like, it just because it adds more to work with compositionally, whereas neatness is sort of like, okay, there's a drawer and it's shut, and well, that's about it. But like, for example, if this is open a little bit, maybe it's like it's actually jam shut. Like she can't even close it because there's like a couple of things poking up. I don't know what, but just like things. Don't add, like, if you add too much, then it just gets busy and sort of, especially if things are difficult to read. So the main things you want to focus on is like clarity, composition, but really within composition, there's like a whole bunch of things like eye direction, your lines. Like, for example, we have, I'm just going to make a new color and layer. So we have like these kind of diagonal lines, which we sort of want to be aware of. Perspective is so much easier in Photoshop because you can just drag these lines out.
Yep.
And then you like have these nice verticals, and maybe there's something back here, you know, like now that I'm looking at this, there could be like a frame of a painting maybe, or just a photograph. That would add a little bit of interest to the scene without really taking too much attention away from the main things that are in the scene. You could still have a nice photograph there or something, or something over here, you know, just things to fill out the scene to make it a little bit more interesting. So it's sort of like a room, but also there's objects there. So yeah, that's what I would do. But you seem to be on the right track. Like, you have lots of stuff. It's looking good so far. I like this one. This is great. Like, this angle is good. You just gotta sort of fill out those scenes with the objects that you need. Like, find a nice cone and stuff like that.
Sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll just tweak it some more, play with it.
Yeah, sure. And if you want to send me some like pretty finished stuff, then that's okay too. We could talk about line quality. Obviously, like in this one, you're not worrying about line quality because you're just trying to get like the sketch down. So the view is definitely good. You could really just take this one and go with it if you wanted to. Just sort of like finish certain elements to it. Maybe add the objects you need back there or whatever. But yeah, this is nice, and it'll tell a nice story too with your character in the mirror. That'd be cool.
Perfect. Yeah, I just need to like fill it up and plump it up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that'll be a good piece, and then you'll have one more down.
Yes.
So what is your after going to be, by the way?
I'm thinking like someone threw the hairbrushes into the wall, and then like the middle of the vanity is just kind of like slammed down. I don't know.
Well, I just thought of something actually. So since you have a mirror to work with, you should use that in your before and after. So maybe instead of having a character, or I'm not sure. I'm just thinking like you could have the mirror. Maybe there's like, for example, there could be like a doorway, and then maybe there's a shelf. Like, so instead of that character, maybe there's like a shelf over here. I don't do something like that. And then you could have like, maybe there's like a little, some kind of animal. You could even have like a monkey or something in here.
You and monkeys.
I know. I don't know. Just anything really. Or like, I was thinking some kind of like scary creature, but for some reason monkey came back. But then like the door, and then the next scene, the before and after, could be like all these things falling over the place, like broken in some cases. Maybe this thing is spilled and there's liquid on the counter dripping off. And then the monkey's gone, and then the mirror maybe is even turned a little bit. Maybe it's facing this direction. And then you see like a person that's just like tired, or like they're like, oh my god, what was that kind of thing. I don't know, just like have the mirror turn. That's a common thing in film, especially where the mirror turns and it reveals something else. Maybe it reveals what's going to be in the next scene. That'd be kind of cool to show, like, let the mirror tell the story of the scene.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just one idea, but yeah, just I would definitely use the mirror since you have one there in the scene to suggest what could happen in the after.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna get thinking on the monkey.
Yeah, I don't know why I always go back to monkey, but yeah. Do you have any other questions this week? Like,
no, not really. Not at this moment. My brain's kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's great to see you got lots of work done this week. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm excited to get work done.
Yeah, it feels good, especially once you start crossing the portfolio items off the list. Then you really start to feel motivated and like you're ready to go.
Accomplished, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think Karen talked about this, but obviously, like, have darker lines in the foreground and lighter lines in the background. Have we gone over that, or has Karen talked about that at all?
We haven't.
Oh, okay. So just for when you clean it up, whatever is closest to you will be darker. So like if this thing right here is in front of this, then the line should be a little bit darker when you eventually clean it up. I mean, that's a little ways off, but when you're finally like drawing this, just make sure that they're a little bit more noticeable than these ones behind. Not by a lot. I mean, this distance between these two things isn't very much, but like for example, this thing here should be way different than like the back here. Like this line should be very light compared to this in the foreground.
Okay, so kind of like the fog perspective.
Exactly. It's called atmospheric perspective. So even this mirror will be a little bit lighter than this one, or you could just like darken up all these lines with your pencil. But just like that way, it'll convey a good sense of believability and sort of depth. That's what you're looking for.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Well, so send me your stuff on Wednesday, and or whenever. I guess if you have some stuff soon, I could always do last week's half hour anytime this week, and
yeah.
Otherwise I'll say. So what do you want to have for next week? By the way, what is your goal this week?
I have no clue. Can I please get back to you on that? I actually have
Sure.
to go and leave in like a few minutes, so I'm like, I gotta get going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. All right, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Right.